Alexis De Toqueville. He said, democracy attaches all possible value to each man, while socialism makes each man a mere agent, a mere number. Now that says it all. That tells you what we're up against in this government. When Obama sits there, talks about ATM machines and kiosks at airports, I would ask you, Obama supporters, what exactly is it that he's promoting? You know, it's a funny thing how we use these terms and over time how they've been misused. Like conservatives oppose progress. No, conservatives support progress within the civil society. Individuals making decisions, as long as they're not criminal decisions or immoral decisions, making decisions. Well, we believe in societal progress. That's why we believe in capitalism. But there are also certain permanent things. The rule of law has to be a permanent thing. The Constitution has to be a permanent thing. It's not that the Constitution should be living and breathing and changing. The Constitution is the foundation of our society. If you change the foundation, you destroy our society. What's living and breathing are human beings. And human beings should be relatively free, in fact, mostly free, to live their lives, to pursue their happiness, to pursue their interests. Government doesn't do that. Government is supposed to set some basic standards, and beyond that, get the hell out of the way. Otherwise, why have a constitution, particularly ours, which, if you read it, is so thoroughly limiting on the central government? Why bother? The reason we have ATM machines, Mr. President, is because we want them. The reason we have kiosks, Mr. President, is because we want them. Somebody invented them, or some group of people invented them, or some industry invented them, tested them, and we like them, and we want them. It's called liberty. It's called economic progress. That's why we have ATM machines. That's why we have kiosks. That's also why we have flat-screen TVs and iPhones and cell phones. Yes. That's also why we have flush toilets and don't piss in the same river we drink out of. That's why we have an Air Force One with the latest technology, cutting-edge technology, to get you where you want to go and to protect you. It's the most magnificent system on the face of the earth, and the dummy doesn't even get it. Or he's so stuck in his ideology, he believes that while he should benefit from it, the rest of us shouldn't. He should not only manage his lives, he should manage our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, I had Walter Williams on this program a few months ago, and he said that he believes that we're heading toward totalitarianism. And he's right. I mean, what kind of thinking is this from the leader of our government? The government doesn't exist to control us in everything we do, to kick us around, to tell us, you know, how we're supposed to live our daily lives, what to feed our children, how to flush a toilet, how to paint a wall. It's not the role of government. That's not freedom. It's not even close. And when you consider the government's doing this without any constitutional authority, none, just because the Supreme Court says so doesn't make it so. Well, what would you call it? So the President of the United States says, you know, we're losing jobs because of advancement, economic advancement. Let me tell you something, folks. You want to see a society that doesn't have any economic progress? Look at North Korea. They have a very high unemployment rate, and a very high starvation rate, and a very high homeless rate, and a very high prisoners in gulag rate. All these backward societies that embrace the philosophy that Barack Obama talks about in one form or another, some kind of centralized, consolidated authoritarianism. They're unsuccessful. They're miserable. They're inhumane. And you can see we have a taste of it today. With the housing market and the job market and the price of fuels and everything. We have people spitting out regulations. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they come from. We don't know what their agenda is. Why doesn't Politico worry about that? Why aren't the left concerned about that? Because the left believes in this. They're authoritarians in one form or another, aren't they? So what is the economic plan of this administration? What is the growth plan? When a president has it so backwards, so upside down, what's the plan? Well, the plan is to continue with his ideological beliefs. That's the plan. And he's stuck on Marxism. And he's not getting off of it. So the only way to change our economy, the only way to change what's happening, is to change who's in the Oval Office. Period. Because he is not open to information. He's not open to knowledge. He is not open to science. He's not open to human experience and history. He's got blinders on. And he's stuck on Marxism. ATM machine? The reason we have these things is because people want them, because they make life easier. That's why. That's why we do these things. That's why we have jets now, as opposed to propeller planes for most of us. That's why we have indoor bathrooms as opposed to outhouses for most of us. Somebody had to invent these things, or parts of them. I mean, this is rudimentary stuff. Rudimentary. He's going on and on talking about solar power and windmills. You know, I was thinking about this today. Windmills? Now that's a step backwards. Windmills. I see. Windmills. Bizarre, really, when you think about it. You know, we used to make our cars bigger and bigger, and they were safer and safer. Now the government says we have to make them smaller and smaller, lighter and lighter, and more dangerous, let alone inconvenient, because they carry so much less, and they go so much slower. Why is this? These environmental policies for the automobile and small trucks and now bigger trucks, they're actually killing people. And I've talked about this before. They are actually killing people. But our rulers are so committed to this ideology that it doesn't matter. Government-run health care, where they're going to be rationing and price controls by this 15-member Politburo that we've talked about. It is literally going to kill people. But who cares, right? Because our rulers are committed to an ideology. And they're not going to change unless we change them. His discussion about ATM machines and kiosks tells you every damn thing you need to know about the man. His complete idiocy when it comes to the nature of human beings. When it comes to human history, when it comes to economic progress, when it comes to the role of government. When I say idiocy, I don't mean he's clueless. Quite the contrary. I mean he's stuck on Marxism. So, of course, you can't grow the private sector when you have a president like this, because his intention is not to grow the private sector. No one who seeks to grow the private sector, that is, unleashes our industries by stopping the torment and the abuse of the individual, Nobody who believes as Obama believes is ever going to do that. I mean, here we are. Is he going to come up with a proposal for Medicare? No, he's not going to come up with a effective or substantive proposal on Medicare. It's doing exactly what he wants it to do, bankrupting the country. He's not a capitalist. He doesn't believe in the private sector. Well, what's his proposal on the debt ceiling? He has no proposal on the debt ceiling. He'll try and work some deal for political purposes. He doesn't give a damn about the debt ceiling. He views it as an artificial construct. For him, the sky's the limit. Because he's stuck on Marxism.